Let's get one thing clear. Women can sense your value before you ever say a word. But I'm not talking about your bank account or your looks. I'm talking about your actual value as a man. How you carry yourself, how you lead your life, and how disciplined you are. When you become a high value man, the game changes. You don't chase, you attract. And women don't just notice you, they treat you differently with respect, with admiration, with desire. This isn't wishful thinking. It's not some pickup line fantasy. It's cause and effect. When you're high value, women respond accordingly because they see what kind of man you are without needing to be told. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Before we jump in, I want you to know if you're tired of being overlooked, disrespected, or stuck in the friend zone, it's time to stop guessing and start transforming. My private coaching program is built for men just like you who are ready to command more respect from women and from the world. If you're serious, hit the first link in the description and join us. Let's dive right in. Number one, women follow your lead when you have direction. When a man has a clear direction in life, it shows. You don't even have to broadcast it. It's in how you walk, how you speak, and how you make decisions. Women are incredibly tuned into this. When you're on your purpose, your goals, your discipline, and your mission, it sends a signal. This man leads himself, and a man who leads himself doesn't need to beg for attention. A low value man constantly asks women what they want, tries to please them at every turn, and fears rejection like it's a death sentence. That guy repels feminine respect. But when you've got direction, women naturally fall into a rhythm around you. They want to be part of your world. They want to support your mission. They respect your time and they don't waste it. Having direction also means you don't chase validation. You're not texting 10 times with no response. You're not canceling your goals to accommodate a flaky girl. You move forward, and that alone makes you rare. High value men understand that their time and focus are non negotiable. You don't compromise your standards just to make someone else comfortable. If you want to flip the dynamic with women, don't ask what she wants. Ask yourself where you're going and then start moving there without hesitation. That's what separates boys from men. And women will respond differently to a man who knows where he's going. Number two, high standards make you irresistible. Most men think that being liked by women means being agreeable. That's false. Being high value means having standards and enforcing them. When a woman sees that you hold yourself and others to a high standard, it instantly raises her level of respect. Why? Because most men don't do it. If you're the kind of man who lets things slide, who says yes to everything, who accepts disrespect or mediocrity, you're signaling that you don't value yourself. And if you don't value yourself, why should she? High standards show up in every area of your life. It's how you dress. It's how you clean your place. It's how disciplined you are with your workouts, your finances, your habits. When you live like that, a woman can't help but notice. You stand out because you're not trying to impress her. You're living in a way that commands respect. When you set boundaries, you teach her how to treat you. And if she steps out of this line and you address it directly, she may not like it in the moment, but deep down, she'll respect it. That respect turns into attraction when it's consistent. You don't need to act tough. You don't need to be rude, but you do need to stand firm on what you allow. If a woman sees that you're willing to walk away from disrespect, she'll think twice before crossing that line again. And here's the truth. Women are drawn to the men they can't manipulate. Be that man. Number three, women invest more in men who don't chase them. The man who constantly chases ends up resented. The man who stands still and watches her chase him, that's the one she thinks about non-stop. This is one of the biggest shifts that happens when you become high value. You stop chasing, not out of arrogance, but because you're busy building. You have options, you have purpose, you have standards. And women can feel that. You're not auditioning for her attention. You're evaluating if she deserves yours. Here's what that looks like in real life. You don't triple text when she doesn't respond. You don't rearrange your schedule for a last minute invite. You're polite, you're respectful, but you're not needy. And that quiet confidence is intoxicating to the right kind of woman. When a man doesn't chase, women invest. They text more. They show up looking better. They ask you about your life. They start trying to prove their value to you. That's the flip most men never experience because they've been taught to pursue nonstop. High value men don't operate that way. You make her earn a place in your world. You don't just give access for free. That doesn't make you cold. It makes you selective. And being selective raises your status in her eyes. If you want to stop being ignored and start being respected by women, stop chasing and start standing. Women will treat you better when they realize you don't need them. You're simply open to the right one earning her spot. And if you want to master this shift and start seeing real results, I highly recommend joining my private coaching program. But if you're serious about building yourself into the kind of man who gets respect automatically, hit the first link in the description. Let's get to work. Number 4, looks don't matter if you act like a loser. You could be jacked, you could be dressed like a model. But if you act like a low value man, women will lose interest instantly. That's the brutal truth. Women care more about how you carry yourself than how you look specifically. A good looking man who's insecure, apologetic, and desperate, he gets ghosted fast. Meanwhile, an average looking man who's calm, assertive, and grounded, he gets attention. Why? Because confidence isn't about pretending. It's about knowing your worth without needing to tell someone about it. And that's the kind of strength that women notice. Even if you're not the best looking guy in the room, if you're focused on your image but ignoring your discipline, your leadership, or your standards, you're doing it backwards. Being high value isn't about just looks. It's about how you act under pressure, how you handle conflict, how you lead others. There's nothing wrong with improving your appearance. Every man should. But it won't matter if your behavior screams insecurity. You need to back up your looks with a mindset that says, I don't need validation. I'm already valuable. Start acting like a man who respects himself. Don't tolerate disrespect. Don't beg for her approval. Don't let lust cloud your judgment. Women can spot weakness fast, and they test for it. But if you pass the test by staying calm, standing firm, and walking away when necessary, she'll treat you like a man worth chasing. Number 5, high value men create a strong polarity. There's something powerful about a man who is fully in his masculine. Women treat that kind of man differently. They speak softer, they touch more, they follow your lead. Why? Because high value masculinity creates polarity. It's the spark that separates attraction from friendship. Weak men blur the lines. They want to be liked. They try to be sweet, soft, and agreeable. And in doing that, they lose their masculine edge, and women lose attraction. But when you embrace your masculine role, when you take initiative, speak with conviction, and make decisions, as well as protect what matters, you force her into her natural feminine response. She doesn't want to lead. She wants to feel safe with a man who can. That doesn't mean being a tyrant or acting superior. It means being grounded. It means knowing who you are, what you want, and where you're going, and leading with that. A woman will treat you like a king when she knows you don't need her to feel like that. She'll respect your leadership. She'll soften around you. She'll put effort into keeping you because you create a polarity that no soft man can match. This is one of the most misunderstood truths in the modern world, but you need to hear it. Masculinity isn't toxic, it's attractive. And the stronger you are in yours, the more feminine she becomes around you. Here's the bottom line. When you raise your value as a man, everything changes. You don't need to manipulate, impress, or chase. Women will treat you better because they see that you're different, you're rare, you're grounded, and you're not afraid to walk alone if needed. That's the kind of men this world desperately needs more of. And if you're ready to become that man, then it's time to stop watching and start building. My private coaching program is where men like you sharpen their mindset, level up their standards, and stop living on the sidelines. If you're not here to be average, you're here to lead. Join us using the first link in the description. Let's build something real.